You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts now.
Really, WNBA? Really? Folks, the WNBA had a whole meeting because the trans invasion of the WNBA is happening. As you guys know, two former NBA players have determined that they are women and plan on entering the 2027 WNBA draft. And the WNBA is at fault for this because they opened up the floodgates when it comes to the whole transgender thing. We saw the invasion in other sports happen, folks. We've been dictating this since 2022. We covered the whole Will Thomas situation at UPenn. We covered the A.B. Hernandez stuff in California. We covered the transgender pitcher in Minnesota. We covered it everywhere. But now a major sports league, folks, the WNBA is definitely threatened by, not just kids, but professional athletes. I'm talking about real grown men that played in WNBA. And WNBA players like Gabby Williams, Cheryl Reeves, other woke coaches were virtue signaling for the trans invasion. They didn't like this. Sophie Cunningham said, I think women's sports should actually be for women, and I'm actually going to protect that. They didn't like that. They lost their minds. And now it's backfired on them as two former NBA players said, we're going to enter the 2027 WNBA draft. And now, since the WNBA has been in the spotlight, the WNBA came up with this quote unquote task force. And they held a meeting yesterday. They were actually going to determine what is a woman. Now, that was just one of a few things, by the way. But rules in the WNBA, it does state that only women are eligible for the WNBA. But there's a problem. Since the WNBA is a woke activist league, they didn't specify what is a woman. Now, me and you, we know exactly what a woman is. X chromosomes from birth. No gender identity, none of that stuff. I mean, guys, that stuff really didn't exist mainstream 20 years ago. It's here now, and it's definitely a threat to women's sports. It's been a threat. Like I said, we covered it, okay? However, this meeting yesterday that the WNBA had, it backfired. Anyway, they have no idea, folks, what is a woman. No idea whatsoever. So let's go ahead and dive into this, guys. Here we go. Right over here. WNBA has yet to determine what is a woman, slams bad faith efforts to marginalize others. Marginalize, folks. Yeah, this is a victimhood league, folks. A victimhood league. Everybody's a victim. But this league, who the players are actually now making money. I mean, I think the average player is making like $500,000 a year or something like that. Could be wrong. But it's a lot more than the $75,000 they were getting like last season. Okay? All that money, and they don't know what a woman is. Fascinating. Look here, it says, critics of the WNBA calling out its transgender policies, or lack thereof, were slammed Wednesday for their hurtful, quote, bad faith in criticizing men claiming to be women so they can play in the league. Elite spokesperson said in a statement, everything is fine at the WNBA, and there is nothing for anyone to worry about. Going public with a call for calm hours after an anti-hate task force met virtually and canvassed a variety of topics, including social media vitriol and transgender athletes. Discussions, meetings, quote, hard conversations, and committees were working at the WNBA to determine what a woman is and what is that type of woman would be eligible to become a WNBA player, as critics lined up to call out the procrastination, declaring the simple proviso, men should not compete in women's sports. Yeah. Now, I believe that the WNBA is trying to work on the wording here. Okay. Now, in a common sense thinking world, but we know that the WNBA doesn't have any common sense. They would actually come out, hey, this is silly. A woman is an actual female who was born as a female at birth with XX chromosomes. But oh no, we know that the WNBA is too woke for that. They're going to do something, guys. And you know what, by the way? Do you guys know the average salary of an NBA player in the G League? They're making peanuts. Peanuts. They're making something like $40,000 a year in the G League. And we know, folks, that every single G Leaguer would completely dominate every single WNBA player. So if they want the money, man, I encourage every single G Leaguer to identify as a woman. Because you can make $500,000 plus. Yeah. Look over here. John Root from Outkick. He writes, WNBA, we won't approach the conversation about men and women's sports biologically and scientifically. We'll approach the conversation in a way that aligns with the values of our league. Also, WNBA, we're going to need weeks and months to figure out what a woman is. Because this is the statement that was actually put out here from the WNBA. Statement from a WNBA spokesperson. Today's meeting covered a wide range of topics, including ongoing discussions on transgender athletes and the continued hate and vitriol directed at players online. We will continue to engage all league stakeholders in the coming weeks and months. We'll approach these important conversations thoughtfully and in alignment with the values of our league. There are no immediate eligibility matters affecting the WNBA, and we strongly denounce the bad faith efforts to use those topics to demean or marginalize others. Well, since there's no immediate eligibility matters, guess what? Enes Kanter Freedom and Royce White, they can actually enter WNBA draft. It's just that simple. I mean, no immediate eligibility matters. Well, let them play. Let them play. But we know truly the WNBA doesn't want them to play. They don't want them to play whatsoever at all. Man, the WNBA is a dumpster fire. And I wish I can actually scroll down, man, but that WNBA picture right there may get the video demonetized. So what do you guys make of this, man? This is just completely ridiculous, man. They failed in a meeting to actually define what a woman is. They couldn't do it. And whether you believe that mankind has been around for millions of years or thousands of years, before 2015 or so, 2020, every person in human history knew exactly what a woman was. But now all of a sudden, a lot of people, namely the WNBA, they have no idea what a woman is. Yeah. These times, man, crazy. 200 years ago, guys, there was no electricity. We have electricity now. We actually know how to make electricity. But in the 1800s, early 1800s, nobody can make electricity. But they did know what a woman was. But apparently in 2026, we don't. Unreal. That's just my thoughts on this. What do you guys think of this? Black and white sports fans, let us know what you think about all this in the comments. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. And we'll catch you next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.